I'm really excited about this video. I've been waiting a long time to share with you the details of my tea garden, and today's the day I finally feel like I have enough plants and they look mature enough to talk about them. Now I'm going to go ahead and call this my starter tea garden because I'm just now getting into making my own herbal teas, and so I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm going to share with you what I've got going on, and I welcome any kind of input from you guys about additional herbs I can put in the raised bed. The reason I wanted to put a tea garden here is because it's actually pretty shady. It's like 12:15 in the middle of December, and you can see this is still very much in the shade. This spot is shaded out by my house until like mid to late afternoon, so I needed to put something here that looked nice against the window, but also didn't require full sun like vegetables. And for the raised bed, I went with a 32-inch tall Vego Garden modern raised bed, which I actually really like, although I'm looking forward to trying to manipulate the plants I have at the front of the raised bed so that they drape a little bit more. I think that would really soften the look and make it look really nice. So I filled the raised bed entirely with raised bed soil, a little bit of compost, and some balanced fertilizer. And I've been adding weekly some fish emulsion to help the herbs get a nice nitrogen boost. I also wanted to add some drip irrigation in here. I've noticed, especially in the summertime, that it's hard for me to keep up with watering if I don't have a drip irrigation system installed. So I've installed it here, however, it is on the same timer as my raised beds that are in a sunny spot. And I've noticed some downsides to that. This does not need nearly the amount of water as my raised bed with vegetables in the full sun. So I actually have a shut-off valve back here, and I've been turning it off to let the soil dry out and help prevent any waterlogging or root rot on the herbs. They really probably only need to be watered once a week. At this point, it is December, so it's not that hot out, and it is in the shade, but once a week seems to be plenty of water for this setup. And if we look over here, you might see something interesting. I actually saw it first on a different YouTube channel, but it was not in the context of a raised bed. I was watching their channel. It was More Than Farmers, if you watch them. It's a homesteading couple out of Ohio, and they had these terracotta pots buried in their front yard to contain mint. And so I thought, oh, that's really interesting. Let me see if I can do the same thing in my herb raised bed. And it's working out really well, although some of them really want to root, and you can tell they really want to root outside of that pot. So I have to check them periodically and make sure they're not doing that. And I think I made a mistake with lemon balm, where the lemon balm is not in a terracotta pot, it's not contained, and I think we may have a situation where the lemon balm wants to take over the bed. I'll keep an eye on that. So let me share the plants that I put in here. Right here is a pineapple sage plant, and when you want to make tea with the pineapple sage, what you're going to do is harvest the young leaves. I will warn you though, I think it's best with cold brew. I made a cold brew with the pineapple sage and it was amazing. But I made a hot brew and it was terribly awful and bitter. And as I am trying all of these different herbs in a tea, hot or cold, I'm learning that some of them are a little more sensitive to the temperature of your brew than others. The flowers can also be harvested, and they're often used as a garnish on a cocktail or even a garnish on your tea if you'd like. Maybe someday I'll make a video about some cocktails we can make with garnishes from the garden. Let me know in the comments below if you think that'd be a fun video. Now right here you'll see a bunch of calendula plants. I had to start them from seed indoors because I couldn't find a transplant, and honestly this is the plant that was really holding me back from making this video for a while. When you're looking to make tea out of calendula, what you're going to do is harvest the petals of the flowers. If you try to harvest the leaves and make tea out of the green leaves, it's going to taste really bitter. Mine are just now starting to make some buds, and so we should get some blooms soon, and I should be able to try my first calendula homemade tea. Right here on the front of the bed is a whole bunch of chamomile. Now I planted it on the front of the raised bed because these are going to produce a lot of flowers, and I wanted to make sure they had as much sun as possible in this spot. But I don't have any buds or flowers yet, so I haven't been able to try this one, although I've definitely tried a chamomile tea and a store-bought tea. It's very popular in like a sleepy time or a relaxing type store-bought tea. When I harvest it, I'm going to harvest the entire flower, and chamomile can be brewed hot or it can be brewed as a cold brew with a much lighter flavor. I also have 5 different types of mint in here. I know it's a little overkill, but I just think mint is so good and it grows so easily. Why not just maximize the number of varieties I can have? So there's a peppermint, a spearmint, a chocolate mint, apple mint, and an orange mint. And yes, they really do taste different, although I've noticed when tasting the individual leaves, it's not so obvious, but when you're brewing your tea, it really is obvious. So I've learned that chocolate mint and pineapple sage is a fantastic cold brew combination. So I have this mason jar cold brew tea kit where I put those herbs in the center filter and I just fill up the mason jar with water and I let it sit in the refrigerator for about 48 hours. And then the tea is ready and it's very mild, very light and refreshing. And it's just easy, but I think I may be in the market for a different cold brew system because sometimes when I pour the tea out of this one, all the herbs want to come with it. So I need one that actually has a spout separate from the herb collection area. Now harvesting mint is really easy, but what you're going to want to avoid is just picking the leaves. That's not the right way to do it. The way that you want to do it is actually snip the stem right above like a leaf node, and then you'll notice that it splits into 2 and it doubles that growth, and it's going to help make it a bushier, more productive plant. Each one of the mint leaves looks a little bit different than the others, and I think the most drastic difference is when you're looking at chocolate mint right next to spearmint. The spearmint leaves are much lighter and the chocolate mint ones are darker. And right here I'm drinking some peppermint tea. You can hear probably that I've got a little bit of a cold, so the peppermint might help clear some of my sinuses up, but don't worry, I also took some cough medicine. Lemon balm is in the mint family, so it actually grows pretty similarly to mint, but it's such a pretty plant. It's so fragrant when you just touch it and then smell your hands. Oh my gosh, it actually smells like Lysol, kind of, the lemon Lysol or Pledge, the dusting cleaner. But I love it anyway, and it looks like I'm getting some blotch leaf miners on it. What I'm not going to do is randomly pick off the leaves with the blotch leaf miner. I'm going to harvest as normal and then pick off the leaves from the harvested portion. That way my plant will regrow in a really efficient way. I also have some plants I started that aren't quite ready yet. They've only just germinated. I have thyme and sage right here, which I'm planning to put in there whenever they're ready. It's probably not going to be until January though. And these are dandelion. I have 3 different colors of dandelion, a white, pink, and a yellow. And dandelion's really interesting because what I'm going to do is harvest the root. And what you can do after you harvest the root is dehydrate it, roast it, and then make a nice dandelion root tea. Dandelion root tea is supposed to be really great for detoxing. And thyme and sage, I've heard you can make tea about them. Honestly, it doesn't sound very good to me to have sage tea or thyme tea, but I'm going to give it a shot, and I can always use more sage and more thyme in the garden, regardless of whether I use it for tea or not. Now we can't forget to talk about the shrubs that I planted on the outside of the raised bed. And I planted one on either side, and it's called Yaupon Holly, or Yaupon Holly. It's the only plant native to North America that has caffeine in the leaves. Now I haven't tried it yet, but I heard it tastes earthy, and you harvest the fresh young leaves and you can roast them a little bit in the oven and then brew them hot or cold to add some caffeine to your herbal tea. And so I just thought it was going to be a fun ingredient to have to make whatever tea mix you want. So this is the start of my Florida tea garden, and I'm really looking forward to adding more and more herbs and trying more and more recipes and sharing them all with you. If you're interested in learning from part 2 in the warm season, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.